not know what state of God you are, it's a disaster. To not know your purpose is a tragedy, it's a disaster. You may tomorrow be gone, tomorrow may never come. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up to purposeful living now. In this you will build your soul, in this you will be the difference, in this you will be the answer to the prayers of humanity. In this you will build your soul, in this you will be the difference, in this you will be the answer to the prayers of humanity. To live and not know what state of God you are, it's a disaster. To not know your purpose is a tragedy, it's a disaster. Sunshine, rainfall, half spins, the wind blows, harmony, symphony, purpose. Sunshine, rainfall, half spins, the wind blows, harmony, symphony, purpose. The world is waiting on you. Do you feel free? The world is waiting on you. Shine, oh shine, shining like a star. Oh, shining so bright.
Yeah. Hey, hello, gentlemen. Good morning.
Tomorrow may never come.
Good morning.
Wake up, wake up, wake up to purposeful living now.
Good morning. Is Dr. Mike?
And this you will be the difference. And this you will be the answer to the prayers of humanity. And this you will build your soul. And this you will be the difference. And this you will be the answer to the prayers of humanity. To live and not know what state of God you are, it's a disaster.
Oh, okay. Somebody muted me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, can anyone hear me?
Well. It's another Saturday morning. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Excellent. Yes. It is another Saturday morning here on Aqu24 Radio. And when you hear Purpose Song, it means we are on Mentoring Hour. It is a beautiful collaboration we have with One-to-One Mentoring Network. Well, they have been extremely busy lately, so they come occasionally for us to carry on with this very beautiful adventure. Today, we have two wonderful souls, also from One-to-One Mentoring Network. I remember we've had Dr. Tosin Talabi, I think I've got the pronunciation very well here, a while ago. Dr. Mike is here for the first time, and I'm looking forward to learning a lot from these two wonderful souls this morning. So without much ado, I think we know Dr. Tosin already, so I think he's Doctor. Yeah. So let's welcome Dr. Mike. A little like we learn a little bit about him, and then we get on cracking. Today it's all about financial intelligence. You know, when Dr. Tosin is here, he's a finance man. He's the money man. Yes, yes. I think very soon we will put him forward for chancellorship in the United Kingdom. Yes, yes, we'll put him forward for that. Yes, yes, yes. We'll put
That'd be a
him
good
forward.
idea.
So let's welcome Mike this morning. Dr. Mike, good morning.
Good morning.
How are we doing?
Very well, thank you. And you too?
I'm in awesome balance. Okay.
That's good.
Yes, it's all about balance in this world. So
Absolutely.
I'm in balance.
Absolutely.
Well, as I said, we haven't had you on the show before. So it will be appropriate for you to tell us how you got in touch with one-to-one mentoring network and what you do in the team.
Yeah, thanks very much. My name is Michael. I'm also a medical doctor. My specialty of interest is looking after children pediatrics, just exactly like Dr. Susie, who is the CEO of One-to-One Mentoring. We've worked together in some various projects and attended conferences together before. So I've always been interested in mentoring and helping young people, younger generation, and also in the process developing myself. And I've also been on a journey recently improving on my financial education. And I'm trying to learn from Dr. Tosin Talabi as well. So I hope this session will be able to give some contributions, offer some insights and advice to people that might be of interest to quite a number of people. Thank you.
Beautiful. So you are a disciple of that Tosin, right?
I am indeed, yeah.
Then if we make Dr. Tosin the chancellor, you will be the vice chancellor, right?
That's okay. I'm delighted with that honor.
Dr. Tosin, how are you doing?
I'm very well. I'm very well. Thank you. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can hear you very well. Yes, we can hear you very well. But we're back on financial intelligence once again, isn't it?
Yes. I think we did financial independence the last time.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
How to achieve financial independence. I think it's a bit different today. It's about intelligence. It's a bit slightly different. Yeah. You need to acquire some intelligence to be able to achieve your goal of financial independence. So I think it's slightly different today.
All right.
So fire away.
Well, I think you've already set the ball rolling, right? So take us through. When we talk about financial intelligence, what is it all about? Is it about you knowing 1 + 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, or anything different? Please give us a brief account of what financial intelligence is all about.
Well, there are two aspects to it. There are several law enforcement agencies across the world that have a financial intelligence unit. Basically, they have people of interest, and they study them to assess what their intentions are. They study their wealth and their movement of money. But that's not what we're going to talk about today. So I don't want that to be confused. What we're talking about today is about financial intelligence of the person, not the FI units for law enforcement agents like MI15 or 16 or CIA or whatever. So it's a bit different. And the good thing about financial intelligence is that it's a skill that can be acquired. It's not, if you don't have it, you don't have it. No. Unlike other aspects of intelligence in life, you can be very bright and that could be innate. You're born with it. You can develop it, but financial intelligence is it's a skill that can be acquired, and it's about understanding money, having a relationship with money and growing money. It's about control, your inflow and outflow of money. It's about understanding the basics of money, about applying resources to achieve your short-term and long-term goals with regards to your income. So that's financial intelligence, being smart and wise, understanding and acquiring skills to be able to maximize what you have.
Well, it looks like a very tall order. And especially in times that we find ourselves in, everyone needs to be financially intelligent so that the scarce resources that you have, you'll be able to use it judiciously. Energy bills soaring up. When you go to the pump, it's another thing altogether. Everywhere that you go, it's so much on the individual. So I think it's in order that you gain that financial intelligence that you've just given us a brief account on. I'll move on to Dr. Mike. As a disciple, what has he learned of financial intelligence, and what can he also take us through briefly before we go on with the main questions I have here? So, Dr. Mike, over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. What I want to do is first of all lay a foundation, the basis for why do we need financial intelligence? I want to start by asking everybody in the audience, is money important or not? How important is money? If money is so important, then what is our attitude towards learning about either acquiring, managing, or multiplying the money? Even if you are a Christian, you may ask me, oh, do I need to be interested in money? Look, money is mentioned in the Bible more than 125 times. And gold, which is a way of measuring wealth, is mentioned in the Bible 419 times. And that shows you that God, in fact, the first mention of the Bible, of gold in the Bible, is the the only other place, apart from when God said everything that he created on day 1 to day 6 is good. Gold is the next thing that God said it is good. And this is money that affects every area of our lives, our mental health, our physical health, our social well-being, our relationships, our family, our job, our career, our creativity. It affects virtually every area of our lives. If money is that important in our lives, then how much time do we actually give to learning about it, knowing how it works, managing it, multiplying it, and using it more efficiently, more effectively? If any of us spend at least 10 minutes a day doing physical exercise, then I want to pose it to you, why don't we spend at least 10 minutes every week learning about our finances, mastering it, and planning for it? At least maybe 1 hour in a month devoted to just education about money, about finances, about improving it and making it better and making sure everything is going well. So the way I want to start is just by asking ourselves, how important is money? And if money is so important, how much time or effort or education do we devote to it? I think that would be a good place to start.
Beautiful. You made mention of the fact that money is mentioned 125 times in the Bible, right?
You want me to quote them for you?
I didn't know that. Well done.
Me too. Yes, but there's one thing also in the Bible that I think perhaps you making mention of the Bible, you can help us if we need to be processed so that we can just move away from that saying. It says it is difficult for a rich man to go to heaven. Yes, I know you know that one, isn't it? Yes, you know that one. Now, something of that of that sort, that kind of thought, to what extent would it encourage someone to be intelligent about money, or to have the desire to learn about money?
Yeah, absolutely. I can give you, in fact, I can spend the whole time answering that question for you. So we have this misconception as Christians that Christians are not supposed to be worried about money or think about money or talk about money, because we are not supposed to be rich, that it's okay just to be poor in this world and then go to heaven. That is all false from beginning to the end. Look at all the people that were closest to God in the Bible, starting from Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. In fact, God talked about Abraham that he was very rich, not just rich, he was qualified, very rich. And the Bible told us what he was rich in gold, in silver, in cattle. So he was not a poor man. We are told about Isaac, his son, that he sowed in the land and he reaped 100-fold. How can you go and sow a seed and God multiplies that 100-fold? Are you going to be a poor man? People talk about Jesus Christ. Was Jesus Christ a poor man? If Jesus Christ was a poor man, why did he need a treasurer, Judas, who was stealing money? Why did Judas say, why don't you take this money and keep it and use it to bless the poor? He was not a poor man, even though he said the Son of Man had nowhere to lay his head. But was there any time that Jesus Christ lacked anything in his life? There was no time. Even when the taxman came and said, are you not going to pay tax to Caesar? He just told Peter, just go to the river and catch the first fish. If you are like that, every time you need something to yourself, for your friends, for your family, and you just go to somewhere and you just pick up the money, are you a poor man? No, you are not a poor man. I can say you are a rich man. You have all your resources met. And some people will say, Jesus Christ said, do not lay treasures for yourself on earth, but where you're. So if you are rich, you are not accumulating riches for yourself. That is why we talked about a fruit, the tree bearing fruit. Every tree shall be known by their fruit. A man, God expects every human being, every one of us, to use our talents to multiply it and to improve. We'll talk about the parable of the talents. The rich man, the king called the servants, gave one 10 talents, gave one 5 talents, gave one 1. And what did they do with it? They did not go and bury it, they multiplied it. And when the king came back, he was pleased, he was happy, he was delighted with those who multiplied their talents, their resources, not those who kept it and kept it the same. In the same way, whatever money or resources or talents God has given to us, he expects us to multiply it. If it is money, he wants us to multiply the money, to make it increase, because you can do more good with more money than be poor. In fact, it was John Wesley said, do the best you can, earn all the best you can to help as many people as you can in the world. Save as much as you can and help as many people as you can in the world. The more money you have, the more influence you have. Look about the kingdom of God. Do you think does the church run on empty tank, on empty purse? You can't run a church without finances. Why are so many churches being bought over by Muslims and converted into mosques? Is it not because of the lack of money in the church? So if there are more millionaires in the church, more billionaires in the church, would that ever happen? So God is not saying nobody, the Christian should not be rich. The only difference is that money is a spirit. It can be worshipped just like an idol. So money is just more than, it's a lot more than just physical cash and paper and coins. Money is a spirit. It can be worshipped. The only thing God said, do not worship idol. Do not worship money, in fact, or any other idol. You can have so much money in the bank that is doing so much good for you and for the kingdom of God, but it is not inside your heart. You don't worship it. You don't wake up every day, every morning, say, oh, what am I going to do with this money? How can I do this morning? I want to accumulate more wealth like the man that he accumulated so much. He did not even acknowledge God as the source of his wealth. He did not think about how to give to the poor. He was thinking of, let me multiply my band, let me increase my band, so I'll be bigger, I'll be richer, I'll be more important, people will respect me. So that is worshiping money. But you can also have the same money that the rich man had, and so multiply it that many more people will be lifted up, many more people will be elevated, will be helped, and you are prospering and more promoting the kingdom of God that way. Thank you very much.
Well, Dr. Tosin, I think you've made a very wonderful disciple, right? Uh-huh. And I think we need to start thinking of establishing a church and making Dr. Mike the head pastor as well. Uh-huh. He knows the stuff in the Bible. I love that. I love that. But I saw you nodding as well. Somewhere in the Bible it says, "Blessed are the poor in spirit," isn't it? It's in the Bible, isn't it? Yeah. So why the need for money? You see, you have to be poor in the spirit. Dr. Thompson, you want to come in on that one?
Well, I'm not as well versed with the Bible as Michael, but my understanding is that we cannot take that literally. Blessed are those who are poor in the spirit. I'm not sure, but maybe Dr. Mike will comment. But what I think the Bible is talking about is the humble, those who are poor in the spirit. They are humble, they're simple, they're just humble. And then they will inherit the kingdom of God. I don't think it's about poor as in physical poor. But I'll let Dr. Mike, see whether I'm wrong or right in that aspect.
No, you're absolutely right. And you see, it is qualified poor in the spirit. That is a beggar in the spirit. If I'm a beggar, I have no choice but to look to other people for help, for support, for security, for uplifting, for resources. So if I'm poor in the spirit, my heart, my mind is constantly set on God. I depend on God for my survival, for my wisdom, for my talent, for my resources, for direction, for guidance, for everything in life. So that constant dependence on God, not thinking as if I know everything or I've arrived or I can do anything of myself. That is what it's talking about. It's not talking about poverty in the pocket. It's not talking about poverty in wealth or poverty in the bank.
All right. Thank you very much for that explanation. I'll stay with you for one moment and then we'll go on to Dr. Tosin. You said money is spirit. We see the notes all around. So why say money is spirit? We can't see spirit, but we see the notes everywhere. But you are saying money is spirit. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so money has two aspects. It's both physical and it's also spiritual. There are some people that take the love of money. That's why the Bible said the love of money is the root of all evil. When some people set their mind, their whole emotions, desire, and greed on money, it can lead them to do some wicked things, evil things that even ordinarily in their own imagination they couldn't imagine. And they couldn't imagine, is it me doing this or me killing somebody because you want to take over their possession, or scamming somebody, or tearing somebody down, scandalizing somebody just because you want to take their position or their wealth. So in that sense, it is equally a spirit. And that's why the Bible said you cannot serve two masters. You can either serve God or you can serve mammon. So you can have wealth and you can prepare for it, you can plan for it, you can multiply it without setting your heart, your mind, or your emotions on it. Your mind is on God. Actually, at the end of the day, all the wisdom that we have to create wealth, to multiply wealth, where does it come from? It comes from God. The strength that we have to even work, to labor, and to generate wealth, where does it come from? It's outside of us. It comes from God. As long as we recognize God as the source, the Father, the foundation of everything that we have, and we are only stewards. And God doesn't distribute wealth equally. God distributes wealth on the basis of abilities. That's why he gave some 10 talents, he gave another one 5 talents, he gave another 1 talent. God knew their ability, what they're able to manage, and he gave them in accordance to their ability. And God also redistributes wealth based on our faithfulness. The man that was faithful enough to multiply 10, he gave him 10 cities. The one that was faithful enough to multiply 5, he gave him 5 cities. And the one that could not even multiply 1, he took the one that he had, he gave it to the one that had 10. So God gives and redistributes wealth, not on the basis of human equality, but it's in own supernatural understanding of our talents, of our abilities that he created inside us.
All right. Thank you very much for that. It's all about financial intelligence today. So you see us going all angles, as you have already heard Dr. Mike. He's just diving everywhere, and I love it so much. Dr. Tosin, you made mention of the fact that financial intelligence is understanding money, right? What is there to be understood about money?
Yeah.
What is there to be understood?
Thank you very much. I think, excuse me, we will always want more. Nobody earns enough. I want more for my salary. I want more profit. There will always be a need for more. Now, the easiest way you can control money is to have the right relationship with money. Now, the relationship should be such that you don't regard money as a demon or as something that is dirty. The love of it is, but money is an instrument. And even the Bible says money answereth all things. Now, you have to get the basics right. You make money, you use money, you grow money. Now, sometimes you have no control over how much you make, if you are salaried, or if things happen in the world. And sometimes you have some control over how much money you use. But one thing you certainly have control on is how much money goes out. How much money you control goes out. It's like a dam. A river is flowing, and you put a dam to that river. Why would you do that? Why don't you allow the river to flow? The reason you put a dam to that river is that you open an aperture, just a small opening for the water to pass through with force. When you put a propeller there, a turbine, that will generate power, electric power. So it's the same with money. If you control the outflow, you are empowered to be able to invest. If you don't control the outflow and you just spend, there is nothing for you to invest with, so you can increase your income. So the key thing about financial intelligence is to learn how to control. You need to understand your inflow and your outflow. Look at your direct debits, your standing order, and all your credit card statements. Where are this money going to? Do they need to go there? What can I do without? Do I need the top subscription on Sky? Do I need that new shoe I bought? Do I need to have, look at all your subscriptions. Start from the basic things. Stem the outflow. If you don't stem and dam the outflow, you will not be empowered and have power to invest because you're just surviving. You're just making money to use. You're just making money to survive. There is no headroom to invest. So the first thing you need to do, control the outflow. Then once you control the outflow, you now have to start looking at investing in yourself. Whilst you're controlling the outflow, invest in yourself. Learn about money. Learn about what you can do. What is your talent? What can you monetize? What is in need? What is real? Learn about money and financial education. Because now you've stemmed the control, now you've released some extra capacity. Now you have an understanding of how money is made and controlled. Then you can start looking to invest. You can start looking to negotiate with your boss and say, look, I do extra work, I do this, can you give me a raise? You can start looking outward and looking at other streams of income apart from your salary, but you need to be empowered. You need to create that dam and stem the outflow. I've had people say, "Oh, I don't really need more than £1 million." Um, it's greedy people that need much. Once you pay off your mortgage, you have 1 or 2 cars, and you have enough money for your family, you have your pension. Why do you need so much money? And my answer to that is you're selfish. You're a very selfish person. It's not about you. There are many people out there you can help. A lot of us, I don't know who your audience are, but a lot of us are paying for school fees in Africa. If you don't have that extra capacity, how would you do that? If you have extra money, would you be able to do that more? A lot of us are supporting charities in the UK. If you don't have the extra capacity, how would you do that? So you need to be outward looking. You are generating income for your family comfort, but also for the greater good of society. So yes, I will stop that for now. So we need to, in summary, we need to understand money and have the right relationship with money to be able to help the wider society.
Relationship with money. Wow, that's another thing altogether, right? What kind of relationship do you have with money? Money needs to be respected, right? From all that you two have stated this morning, you have to respect money. Yes, money loves to be respected. So, what is your relationship with money? And you said you have to learn, or you have to start to control the outflows. The outflows, right? You made mention of some of the things that we should consider. You made mention of the subscriptions that we have. I remember very well. I think in our previous conversation, someone will be having iPhone 13 Pro now, and I know the 14 is just around the corner. They are bringing it. He may have he took the contract just about 2 months ago, but the very moment iPhone 14 comes, he wants to get iPhone 14. Perhaps maybe to some of them, affordability is what matters to them. If they can afford it, they would want to get the new and the latest phone. Just break it down a little bit for us. What are some of the other things that we should consider if we truly want to control the outflows in our life? The outflows. What are some of the, because sometimes, as you said, the subscription, one may have not even thought of it. So just give us some little insight as to some of the things we should consider if we really want to control the outflow of our money.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we need to start from our basic needs. We need to look at all the direct debits and standing orders and slowly go through them. And do I need, most of the time I'm in the office or I'm at home. So do I need unlimited data on my phone, for example? Do I really need it? If you're running a business, perhaps you do. But if you're not running a business and you can connect to the Wi-Fi in the office and the Wi-Fi at home, most of the time you are either in the office or at home. Only very little time you are transiting between the two. Do you really need unlimited data on your phone? Even if you've had iPhone 10 for 2 years and your contract has come to an end, do you really need the new one? Do you need the new one? If the old one is still working, you're still paying £20. An example is this. I always do what is called SIM-only contract. Yeah? Because what most people do is, just for the iPhone now, for the phone, after 2 years or 18 months or 1 year, they give you a brand new phone, and then you move on to the next phone and the next subscription, which is higher. No, I don't do that. I keep hold of my phone, and I say, look, I want a SIM-only contract. And I'm going to hold on to my phone, and I end up paying about £15 a month. My colleagues pay £40, £45 a month because they change to the new phone. So that's just one example. Second example I would give is subscriptions. There are some journals we subscribe to. There are some TV programs. Now, look at it this way. You pay for Netflix, you pay for Amazon Prime, you pay for Sky, you pay for Sky Sports, you pay for all of these things. Now, how much time, how many times do you really use and sit down to watch these things? So you need to consider all those things and call them. The people say, oh, but you must enjoy life now, you work hard. Yes, I get that. But are you really using your resources properly? One thing you can't take back is time. Once it is spent, it's gone. You can't take it back. Would you rather sit down and watch a program that does not add value to your life? If the program is not there, if the subscription is not there, you won't have sat down to watch it. So the other practical thing I would suggest is your loans. If you have loans, car loans, furniture loans, and all those kind of loans, pay them off. Those are the outflows you don't need. Pay them off as quickly as you can. If you have a mortgage where you live, your home where you live, pay an extra. And I'll give an example. If you're a businessman, don't pay it off, but that's another topic for another day. But like I said, I don't know your audience, but if you live in a house and you have a mortgage, and I'll give an example. This was many years ago. My car, I finished paying off my car, and it was about £217. I remember very clearly, about £217 and a month. But I was surviving with that money going out of my account. So I thought to myself, okay, of course, I didn't have the understanding that I have now. I'm going to divert this money to pay my mortgage. Now, my mortgage is a repayment mortgage. There are two kinds of mortgage. There's the interest or the repayment. So I diverted £217 of that money to my mortgage. At the time, this was many years ago, I had about 20 years left of that mortgage, 25-year mortgage. By diverting £217, I saved 12 years. Now, I didn't know this. I just thought it would be a good idea. Now, I saved 12 years and I saved about £36,000 in interest payment. Now, I would never have known that until I got the letter from the bank that if you consistently continue with this additional payment, your period of 20 years will be reduced to 8 years, and you will have saved, I think, about 40-something pounds in interest payment. That's an example. Now, if you're a business person, it's different. I don't want to go into that. But if you're not a business person, you're a salary owner, and you're a salary earner, and you have a house you're paying mortgage for, an additional £100, because you will spend that £100 on subscription, on clothes, on things, on entertainment, on things that will not add value to your life. The other one is that understand the basics of credit and debit. The money in your credit card is not your money. So people have £5,000 allowance, and they say, "Oh, I have £5,000 to spend." No, you don't. If you cannot at the end of the month pay off any amount you spend on your credit card, don't spend it. Now, there are occasions when you have to buy large goods like furniture, food, and all of that stuff, but you should be able to pay it within 3 months. Credit cards are short-term loans. If you find yourself having to pay minimum for more than 3 months, at the 3 months point, you should have been able to clear your credit card. You can start again if you buy another large item. But if you find yourself only having to pay minimum for more than 3 months, that's a problem. So I've talked about credit card. I've talked about your mortgage, car loan. If you're in business and you have other streams of income, it's better to do PCP because you can put it into your business. But if you're a salary earner and you buy a car for £10,000, you want to pay it about 5 years, pay it off as soon as you can. Now, spend money on assets that appreciate, not assets that depreciate. That's the other basic thing. Once you've been able to create an extra capacity for yourself and you put some money aside, you can spend money on properties. That's my area. You can look at stocks and shares. I think that's Michael's area. You can look at bonds. You can look at other modes of investments. But before I stop, one key area is if you solve problem, you will make money. So find out what the society problem is in your locality, in your area. What is in need? What is the society? Now, look inwards and look at yourself. What talent do I have? Am I a physical fitness person? Do I cook well? Am I, somebody that talks well, like Dr. Michael? I can see his passion, the way he talks very well. Find what is your talent? Now, does your talent match any of the needs in society? Now, educate yourself. Find out how you can monetize that talent and serve the needs of society. Mark Zuckerberg saw a need for social media, tapped into it, monetized it. Amazon saw a need in sending books, started with books,
Marketing.
And found there was a problem, found there was a need, satisfied the need, became a billionaire. PayPal discovered that banks were too slow. I want to send money to America. It takes 7 days. It takes, what's all this about? Created PayPal, became a billionaire. Look for a problem to solve, and money will flow in.
Absolutely.
Look for a problem to solve, and money will flow in. Well, I know both are Nigerians, right? And there's this new thing on TikTok. I don't know. Are you two on TikTok?
Yes, I am.
I'm not a big fan of TikTok.
Oh, okay. All right. So Dr. Tosin may perhaps know. Some of I know it's across board, but I can see that more from the Nigerians now. Tap 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 power tap power tap. Have you seen that one? Power tap power tap. Follow the follower. Yeah. Oh, you haven't seen that one? When you go on TikTok, right? Go on the live session, and then you will see some of these things. The reason why I'm bringing this one in is a lot of people are making money on social media as well. A lot of people are making money, and on TikTok, I think it took shape somewhere when the COVID came. There's this young man, is it Kobe Lame or something? He's made a lot of millions from TikTok, and our fellow Nigerians, some are making $2,000 a day on TikTok, right? And how they do it is just marvelous. Perhaps Dr. Tosin may want to just study that one and see if he can also add that to the portfolios as well. So find something, a problem in the society. I think society rewards problem solvers. Society does not reward those who complain about the problems. They reward problem solvers. So I think I'll take that on board very well. A question came in. I think that one was going for Dr. Mike when he was talking about the Bible and what have you. All intelligence and all wisdom comes from God. So the question was, so should we start praying to God to give us financial intelligence? That was the
Yeah. I mean, so we are talking about practical things here. When God created man in his own image, he created man out of the dust and put his breath inside him. He created this in his image. So what does that image? That is a fraction, a tiny fraction of God's abilities, God's functionalities. It's already embedded in man. So there's so many raw talents that are already inside us. All we need to do is develop them, grow them, put them in the soil, put water, put them inside the soil. They are already inside the soil, which we have made of. Put a bit of sunshine, a little bit of water, a little bit of fertilizer, and let them blossom, let them grow out. They can blossom like Dr. Tosin Talabi said. Reading books, improving on the skills you already have, improving your creativity. A lot of us have ideas, but we have not tried to even translate those ideas into action, into practice, into something that will generate extra income. So sitting down and asking for, so my child knows I'm responsible for his welfare, education, going to school, feeding. Why is he going to be sitting down in front of me for 10 hours and say, beg me, daddy, please give me money to go to school. Please give me the breakfast this morning. How about the one that I already given to you? What are you doing with that? So there's a place for prayer, for inspiration, for revelation, but there's also a place for the what you already have, developing them, maturing them, improving on them, finding mentors, reading books, educating yourself. So there's a place for that. So by sitting down and waiting that God will suddenly bring all the action that you need for you, that's not going to work.
Okay. All right.
Can I just add to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
God cannot do anything without us. I just wanted to pause and think about that. God cannot do anything without man. God had to come down to earth in the form of Jesus to do what he wanted to do. God cannot physically come down. God will need to use you to do what he needs to do. So yes, it's okay to pray and ask God for wisdom and intelligence, but God still needs you as the arm and leg to go and effect the change he wants to happen.
Yeah.
So God can equip you, but you still need to do the work. He will bless the work of your hands. If there's no work for him to bless, then it's a problem. There's nothing to bless. So you need to work, and then he will bless the work of your hand.
That's a very interesting dimension. And then when you said God cannot do anything without man, I paused a little bit just to think of it, right? I know where you are coming from. But I felt if God cannot do anything without man, that means God is limited in his power one way or the other. But the lesson understanding or what revelation came through was, you see, when you take the sun, for instance, right? Before we discovered that we could make solar energy from the sun, that energy was already in the sun. But it was we human beings who have then not discovered that we could use that energy in the sun to that direction. So to me, I think God does not need to do anything that requires man. But man has to direct his actions, his thoughts to God so that he will get the directions from God to do whatever they need to do. So God does not need to do anything again. Whatever God has to do is already finished. It's like you have money in the bank. You just have to withdraw the money from the bank and use it. So I think if we want to move on in this life, we need to align ourselves with God, the wisdom, the infinite field of wisdom, and then we can be able to download his directions and move on. That is how I see it. I think Dr. Mike, Pastor, you may want to say something to that effect, isn't it?
No, I absolutely agree. The fact is that there are already a lot of potentials sitting inside us, untapped, many resources unused. There's a place for maybe asking God to quicken our understanding, to give us special inspiration, to discover what he has already put inside there that are lying down dormant, idle, sleeping giants. There's a place for that. But there's also a place where we already understand, or we have already identified some skills, some talents through different providences, through different opportunities that God has given to us in life. So some of those things we have already identified, maybe it's up to us to go ahead and then improve on it already. The ones we have already identified, why not improve while working on the one we already know, while waiting for maybe revelation about the one we do not know? So maybe there's a place for, as I said, there's a place for both of them. Action as well as asking for more revelation and vision.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Could it ever be too late for someone to be financially intelligent? Maybe someone is 60 years or 65 years. Could it be something too late to start, or it can never be late at any point in time for someone to be financially intelligent?
So sorry if I, maybe Dr. Tosin will definitely add to that. If I could just start. What I call financial education 101, baseline, basic financial education. I'm just more or less summarizing what Dr. Tosin has already said. Start with understanding balance sheet, your balance sheet. Balance sheet is input, output, inflow, outflow. How many of us actually sit down to create a list of how much money we earn every month? And then on the second sheet, how much we spend every month? That's the starting point. It's only when we understand the difference between what we earn and how much we spend, that's when we start talking about budgeting. That's second stage. Second stage is planning outflow, like Dr. Talabi eloquently put it. But if you don't even know what your outflow is, how can you begin to decide which one should tick, which one should cross, which one should reduce, which one should increase? So those are just, even a 70-year-old can do that. Sitting down, analyzing. If you are collecting pension, at least you know how much pension you get every month. And then you look at your balance sheet or bank account or bank statement and see how much is going out every month. And then you can now begin to say, okay, let's reorganize the balance. Let's reorganize the balance sheet. And then that's when decisions, action begin to come in. And then when you go from stage 1 to stage 2, then to stage 3. Stage 3 is having some extra balance. So you cannot just spend everything that comes in. Such a person cannot actually have a future of success. So you have to decide how you can make sure that the income exceeds everything that is going out, so that there will be a little bit buffer. That little buffer, you can do a lot with it. You can start with saving it. You can start to use it to pay off your debts. You can start using it for investments. But if that buffer is not there, life just becomes like subsistence, just managing or almost managing to scrape the surface. So there are basic so let's not be carried around about with jargon about financial education. They're just basic things. Know your balance sheet, then go to stage 2. Start planning, budgeting your expenses. Then number 3, start creating some extra buffer, which you can now begin to use. That buffer is powerful in your hand. You can start to use it to task. You can, to bless other people. You can start to use it to help other people, to save it for emergency in the future, and to invest it and even multiply it. Yeah. So there's basic foundational financial education there. Thank you.
Okay. All right then, Dr. Tosin. You want to come in on that one? Maybe someone is 60 years old. I've got only about 20 more years to be around, or sometimes 10 more years to be around. Why need to worry myself about this? Is it too late for someone to start on this journey of being financially intelligent?
Yeah, no, it's never too late. And I will tell you why it's never too late. My dad, who, may his soul rest in peace, died last year at 94. He wasn't ill at all. He was still reading at 94. He was still traveling at 93. He was in the UK at 92 before COVID struck. He still travels. He still reads. And he tells me, I've imbibed that over the years. He said, the day you stop learning is the day you die. The day he died, he was still reading newspapers at 94. So the day you stop learning is the day you die. But I think the person that actually asked that question, what they really mean is, Is it too late to be financially independent? I'm suspecting that is the question. And I don't think it's too late. And I'll tell you why. And I'll give an example. Colonel Sanders of the Kentucky Fried Chicken frame made his first million, 2 million, at 73. He struggled all his life. He started working age 13, struggled all his life. But he could cook chicken. He knew he could do that and gave them free of charge for people to taste. So, this is good. I want more. Okay, you have to pay for it now. And that was how he started. He identified the problem. People liked his chicken. They wanted food. He married it with his talent. He knew he could do this. But he couldn't build a business. He was overwhelmed. So he sold it to a company that had a network. And they paid him $2 million in 19, I can't remember, 60 something. He was 73 years old, so it's never too late. Just stick to what you're doing. Keep doing, improving yourself, educate yourself, and keep doing what you're best at doing. And the second thing is that if you think about it, we all have a different life lane, And another example, I like giving examples. Obama was retired at 52, I believe. He became president at 44, something like that. Trump started at 73. So somebody is finishing, somebody is starting. And look at the age gap. So, that's the way it is. It doesn't. At the end of the day, it is not when you achieve in life that matters. It's what you achieve that matters. People will remember you for the legacy you left behind. They will not remember how long it took you to achieve that legacy. So it is what, not when.
There's what and not when. You've kept it very, very simple. I love that. Another question here. Speaking of outgoings, should I cancel my life insurance? So who wants to go on that one?
The simple answer is no. That's the simple answer. Because you have to think about your family. I know, people say, oh, if you're living in faith, if you're a believer, why are you paying to put, for you to die? Look, tax, death, change, and certain. It's going to happen. Okay? And, in some countries, I know this is a global audience, in some countries, it's actually lawful, it's legal for you to have a life insurance on your property. So you need to have that, so you can't cancel that. The things you can cancel are things, rather than stay at home watching. I have no problem with watching films. I actually enjoy watching films, don't get me wrong. I watch sports, I watch football. But rather than stay at home watching movies, if you have a problem with your weight, go for a walk and cut the subscription. If it's not there, you wouldn't watch it. It's the soft ones. It's the entertainment, the pub going, it's okay to do these things once in a while. Yesterday I went out to some friends, and they sold me a can of beer, alcohol-free beer, for £4. When you can buy 24 cans for £3.50. So, so my point now, the people I went with didn't think about it, but I thought about it. But they didn't think about it, and they got the second and because you're throwing axe. We're throwing axe. It's a new game where you throw axe throwing, just a bit of fun. And they were having, because it's alcohol free, because you're not allowed alcohol when you're throwing axe around. It's sharp. So they were having 6. Yes, I had only 1, because I thought to myself, hold on a minute, this one is £4. Because I was a senior guy, I bought for 2 of them, and that was £12, and that was it. I didn't buy, but they were kept buying. They kept going on. Some of them would have spent, I don't know, 10 times 4 is 40. I know it's not a lot of money, but it's little things like that. You need to rein it in. Why would you? Okay, it's not every day you do it, but you see, if you do, it's a habit. It's like you want to lose weight. You become physically fit. You diet, and then you stop. You lose the weight, and then you stop. What happens? The weight comes back on. It's a lifestyle. You don't say, "Oh, I'm on holiday," or "I can just spend anyhow I want. I'm on holiday." No. Yes, you're on holiday. Spend by all means, but your lifestyle of being judicious with your spending needs to continue. So don't cancel your life insurance. The other thing I want to also tell you is that when you are judicious with the use of money, the system, well, the Western system actually rewards you. For example, I get cheap loans. Yeah. Why do I get cheap loans? Because they can see that I pay my debts, they can see my behavior, they can see my affordability. I get very cheap loans to do the business I need to do that some people will only dream of because they've checked my credit and they see that, okay, we're okay with this guy. And they give me really, really cheap loans. So please don't cancel your insurance. It's the soft things we're talking about.
Okay. All right then. You want to come in on that one, Dr. Mike?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much. Yes. So, as part of financial education that we are talking about, we need to know, like we said at the introduction, different ways of using money and using money effectively. We've talked about cutting down on unnecessary expenses, especially expenses that are expended on luxury, on things that depreciate, things that do not add value. Just another aspect of money that we also need to understand is protection for the future. Because whether we like it or not, accidents do happen. And the only thing you can guarantee is that accidents will happen in life because you don't plan for it, you don't expect it, but they do happen. So being able to use some of our income, some of our reserve, some of our reserve to protect ourselves for future accidents is part of financial education, effective use of money. So we are using money that way to protect ourselves, to safeguard ourselves in case of future accidents that will happen, whether we like it or not. They do, and they will surely happen. So that comes to something like life insurance is definitely one of them. Accident cover is maybe one of them. Employment or salary cover is one of them. And again, a person that does not leave inheritance for his children is worse than an infidel. That's what the Bible says. Somebody who does not provide for his wife, his own family. So why do you just want to bring children into the world, have families, and go through life and have nothing to leave to them? That's, like Dr. Talabi said, that's selfishness. So these are effective ways of using money. Estate planning on our will before we die, so that otherwise the government doesn't take our money and squander it in a way that we cannot imagine. So definitely, so these are effective ways. So from the beginning, like it's a bad idea to think I can save money. There are places we can save money on, but there are places where it is inevitable we must be spending money on. So save money from less valuable assets, liabilities, but these are places where we can definitely put money. And in terms of maybe increasing the income aspect, we may not have enough time today, but this is where we talk about things like passive income, having an additional also apart from our normal day-to-day job. And passive income can come from different ways, even like doing like multi-level marketing, which does not take a whole lot of your time, being an entrepreneur, writing books, creating maybe online marketing, things like that, Shopify and things like that you can do as a part-time. So there are ways we can increase the income aspect of our balance sheet, and also ways to manage the the outgoing aspect of our balance sheet. Yeah, thank you. I hope that helps.
I think, as you said, you may not have enough time to fully contemplate on some of the things that is being said today. But I would want to ask Dr. Tosin, more or less from the discussion, it looks like you would have to be a little bit stingy Very, very stingy if you want to make more money, right? Because Dr. Tozin was thinking about, hey, one can of beer, £4. You see, in my, I don't know about Nigeria, but when you go to Ghana, people from United Kingdom, when they go to Ghana, they say, "Oh, United Kingdom people, they are so stingy." When Americans come, they spend quite a lot, a lot. So should one be very stingy before he or she can make more money?
No, no, you don't have to be stingy. You have to be judicious, not stingy, judicious. For example, like I said, I still bought, for those who didn't have, a can in their hands, there were two of them. I still bought two. You got to live and let live. I still bought two. But now look at it this: if I didn't know the price of the beer, I would not know the relative costs. If I didn't know that 24 12 counts actually in Tesco cost £4, if I didn't know that, it wouldn't matter. The £4 per can wouldn't have mattered. But because I had knowledge of how much a 25 packet costs, so 24 packet costs, I had an idea. That was why I could relate and I could compare. So you need that knowledge. Otherwise, you wouldn't. So, you don't need to be stingy. For example, like I said, let me just give you a formula of what I use. And, I will commend it to others as well. All my income, both salary and business income, 10% I take away is for charity. 10%. Sometimes more than that. In fact, I've exceeded more than that because the more you earn, the 10% is not enough anymore. So you increase it anyway. But, as a starter, 10% is not mine. I put it aside. I support many charities, churches, and all kind of things. Then 30% is my big bills, mortgage, rent, council tax, the big bills. 30% is for everything else, holidays, car, everything else. And 30% is for investment. I want to increase my income so I can be of benefit to the wider society. It's not stinginess. It's about judiciousness. Now, yes, you're right. Americans spend more compared to the UK people, and there's a difference. I have a lot of friends in America, and I've lived there for a bit, and I've lived here as well. The difference is this: the average American lives on credit. Everything is on credit. In the UK, we're more judicious, and we're more careful about our spending, and our credit is limited. In America, for example, you can be given a mortgage of 7 times your salary, 7 times. So if you earn £100,000, you can get a mortgage of £700,000. In fact, now in America, you have what's called a lifetime mortgage. Here we say 25 years, you must pay it off. America, if you're 20, you can have a 50-year mortgage. So that you can pay small, and have more money to spend and waste. The money circulates. So it's a different culture. In America, you can just pay them 1 month of a car payment, and they give you a £50,000 $1 car. Here, you have to pay at least 20% deposit. They want to be sure that you can afford the repayment. So it's a different culture. So the Americans can come and spend money because they're coming from a different culture. In a way, it has its own benefit because the money circulates. They earn more and they spend more, and they earn more and they spend more. But it's a whirlwind. It's a cycle. Only very few really, really, really make it. They're just working to spend, and not the other way around. Working to spend. So the UK, we're not stingy. We're just more judicious. We're more conservative, and we're more reasonable.
Okay, we are more conservative. I hope you are not making campaign for the conservatives, right?
No. Oh, before I forget, Samuel, because I don't know when this is going to. I think it's going to end very soon. So before I forget, in the UK, we follow laws. I just want to put a disclaimer out there. I'm not a qualified financial advisor. All what I've told about money is my personal opinion, what has worked for me. I know this is a global audience, but I know there are UK people here as well. So you can take my opinion at face value. I'm not recommending that you do it. Like I said, if you want good quality professional advice, go to a financial advisor. I'm not one. It's a disclaimer. So don't say, Dr. Tosin said I should do this and I did it and it failed. Go to a financial advisor. That's the disclaimer. Thank you.
Okay, all right then. You
And I
see,
think the same goes to me.
yes, it's in order. But a word to the wise, they say, is definitely enough. I want us to touch on just one other thing, and then we can round up. Affordability. Sometimes, to some people, because I can afford, I will spend. Yes. Well, what are you talking about? I can afford it. I have loads of money. I can afford it. I can spend it. So should affordability be the only yardstick for someone spending money? I think I'll start with Dr. Mike, and then Dr. Tosin will round up on that one. Should affordability be the only measure for one spending money?
I will say affordability must be secondary to budgeting. If you have already set enough money aside in your budget and you're giving yourself a leeway how much money you can spend on any particular area or particular item, yes, by all means do that. But affordability without any plan, for me, that would not be financial intelligence. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Dr. Tosin.
Yeah. Affordability is a relative term. The fact that you have the money now doesn't necessarily mean affordability. The way to judge affordability is this. Look at your budget. Look at the money that must be paid, your mortgage or rent, council tax, the money, the bills, school fees, the bills that must be paid every month. Let's say it's £1,000. Do you have £6,000 in your saving, which is 6 months? If anything were to happen to you today, will your essential bills be paid for 6 months? If your income were to stop today, will all of your essential bills, food, school fees, rent, all your essential bills, will they be paid for 6 months? The answer is yes. £6,000 in the bank. So, and then your entertainment budget, it's £100. Yes, of course, you can afford to spend £100 in the pub because that's your entertainment budget for the week. But if you don't have 6 months, well, I will go further and say 6 months of your salary because you're living on your salary now, not even your essential bills. If you don't have 6 months of your salary saved, so if your salary were to stop today, you need about 2-3 months to get another job to get yourself together, get going and all of that. If your salary was to stop today, you should be able to continue to pay your bills for the next 6 months. If you don't have 6 months savings, then you can't afford that thing you're spending money on. Simple, easy.
And let me just add one more point. Something I've heard from another speaker. He said, if I want to buy something, I will ask myself, can I afford 5 times that thing? Well, for example, I wanted to buy a car, which of course maybe 20,000. Can I afford 5 times of that car, which is 100,000? If I can afford 5 of that, then I can take one of them. But if I cannot afford 5, it probably means I can't actually afford that, even that one.
Okay. All right. That's some very interesting angles to look at affordability. Thank you very much, noble gentlemen. One thing that came to mind is just a revelation when you were talking about subscriptions. There are some of these, I won't mention names, right? Because of whatever the reason may be. There are some shops, before you'll be able to go there, you need to subscribe. You need some membership to be able to get into those shops. Sometimes some people go there once a month, and some people go there possibly once every 2 months. Right? When they go, they do a lot of shopping, and then they put that aside. I came to mind and said, okay, if that were to be the case, if a group of people, say 5 people or 10 people, you have only one membership, and you arrange among yourself. I think the membership maybe perhaps some of them is about £50 or so every year. Not so much anyway, but if you only go there once a month or twice every 3 months, why a group of people you have only one membership? Because you can take one card from another person. You go there, you do your shopping, and then you put the card somewhere. Whoever needs it another time, you arrange and then you get it. So I think some of all these little things that we try to stop them from going out, as Dr. Tosin said, the outflow, it all adds up to make something big. So thank you very much for your education today. I'm glad you put out the disclaimer. But whichever way, I'm still putting you forward for the chancellorship, right? So thank you very much for your time today. I think I'll make Dr. Mike tell us a little bit about where to get one-to-one mentoring network, and anything that he has to say about one-to-one mentoring network before we go.
Yeah, thank you very much. One-to-one mentoring was a brainchild of my colleague, Dr. Susan Oza. And it's how, particularly or primarily, was set up particularly originally for women, empowering women, especially women of ethnic minority background. But since then, the vision, the mission has widened to involve virtually everybody from all ethnic backgrounds, and also to involve men and young men as well. So that's why we also were brought in to be able to provide some support. So it's basically a program for all categories of women, mothers, parents, students, and young people. And we've got our website where there are lots of resources on the website. And we also hope to organize special programs, including a radio show like this and other virtual programs from time to time, which we advertise on the website and send around to our members and those who have attended our previous programs before. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tosin. When I listen to you very well, one other thing that comes to mind is many people are living a life that pleases others other than themselves. So someone would want to buy a big car so that when someone sees me, he knows, yes, I'm also somebody. Yes. In Africa, when you are holding a particular phone, a command, it calls for some respect, right? Even the kind of woman that you are you even marry to some people, it's something that society places some respect on. So when you look at it very well, many people are living to please others and not themselves. So I will want to buy this so that when someone sees me, he will know that yes, I'm also somebody. I will buy this shoe so that when I go to this party, they will know that yes, I'm also here. So, our African people, they don't wear the same dress to a party twice, isn't it? Yes. So thank you very much for your explanation, your education today, and I hope it wouldn't take time for us to come again, and then we continue. I would seriously wish we continue on this subject, because it's a big one, and we need more education on that. Thank you very much, gentlemen, and then we come again another time. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.